Welcome to part 6 of our 2022 Western States Tour. In this episode, we explore some free camping areas along Highway 70 in Utah, get some great drone footage of the Buckhorn Wash and Rabbit Valley, then head into Las Vegas for our final night before coming home. Our first stop was right along the Colorado and Utah border, an area known as Rabbit Valley Conservation Area. We would have loved to stay here, but we had a long ways to drive still. Dang put the drone up to get some photos of the area. I think they charge $10 a night, or maybe we'll be doing that in the future. There appeared to be a number of campsites along the road we drove down. There was almost nobody here when we visited, but I can imagine it gets pretty busy with off-roaders during the weekends. It's not far off the 70, but we did not notice much road noise at all. It was time to hit the road again and continue west. It was getting a bit later in the evening, and we still had a long ways to go to get to Buckhorn Draw. We grabbed some gas at a station we have used before, located in Green River. I always enjoy going through these hills. The road is just cut right through them. As we got to Buckhorn Draw, it was getting quite dark, and I was nervous about driving around looking for a camp spot. We had stayed here before, and after peeking to the right, where the campsites are nicer, we settled for a large lot on the right side, which was pretty flat and easy to park in. Despite our unattractive campsite, the surrounding scenery is quite beautiful. The next day I had work to do, so Dang took the opportunity to drive up Lawrence Road to Buckhorn Wash and the San Rafael Swell. On her way out, she encountered a small drove of donkeys. There were many opportunities to drone. There is also an abundance of dispersed campsites. I'm not sure what this mountain is called. If you know, please leave a comment. These shots give you a sense of just how big the area is and how sparsely populated as well. This is rugged yet beautiful terrain. It must have been quite difficult to navigate in the Old West. It was time to continue the exploration. The road in from our location was about 20 or so rough miles. There are a number of campsites available down in the wash area. Perhaps accessing them from the north is easier. As she got closer to Buckhorn Wash, the canyon walls began to rise and the sights were just stunning. She found the Buckhorn Wash pictograph panel. The San Rafael River sustains a good amount of vegetation, and the resulting greenery mixed with the red rocks is quite a sight. The geology here is fascinating, with many different shapes and sizes of rock, similar to other famous parks in Utah, but without anywhere near the crowds. The cloudy blue skies made it even prettier. The texture of this rock formation was really unique, like hundreds of layers. You'll want to keep watch for falling rocks if climbing around here. It's amazing how they can just teeter on top of each other. The temperature was warm during our visit, probably mid-80s. I imagine it gets quite hot during the summertime. With an elevation of around 6,500 feet, you'd think it would be cooler. Back at the trailer, I was running the generator to stay cool while I worked. Oops, that was a close one. Not something any drone pilot wants to see. Apparently, the color of these rocks does not play well with the DJI avoidance system. Time to head back now. Dang passed a Jeep club or something on the way out. This was more vehicles than she had seen all day. Later that evening, we headed out towards our next destination. This is a good stop and highly recommended if traveling through the area. I do suggest you arrive during daylight, however, in order to find a good campsite. Later, we took a little break at Gooseberry Road, Salina Creek. Gooseberry Campground is a small Forest Service campground and runs about $14 a night. We did not stay, but would have had we not had further to travel that day. The creek was pleasant, and at 7,800 feet in elevation, this location was a bit cooler. Back on 70, it was time to grab some more fuel. It wasn't too long before we got to our next campsite. This one is known as Fremont Road Dispersed. We were not sure if this was the normal spot to camp in, but it looked like others had used it for that purpose, and since we were just there for the night, we decided to as well. Apparently, this site also serves as a tire dump. Too bad. When we pulled in, we didn't realize we had a neighbor. Afterwards, Dang stopped flying in that direction. Here we have a video of a Mavic 3 taken by a Mavic Air 2S. Fun stuff. The next evening we got on the road once again and headed for Las Vegas. That would be our final stop before returning home. But first, more gas. Passing through the Virgin River Canyon is always so pretty. Before too long, we were pulling into North Vegas. We stayed at the Hitchin Post RV Park, which was quite reasonable and despite being in a somewhat questionable part of town, was well secured and offered full hookups. The next morning, we ordered breakfast burritos from the cafe and headed on south. Hey, Prim, Nevada. This was our first stop on the trip 4 weeks ago. Notice the solar mirrors. Hopefully the last gas of the trip. We always end up stopping at the Pilot in Hesperia, it seems. The Cajon Pass has been getting busier and busier. This was a great trip, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing to our channel for more like it.